What you got there?
A noose.
Make America great again. Donald Trump.
What's up, the internet? Angry Asian here, and just this last week, we've had another serious instance of racism. Just kidding. We've had another racism hoax by Jussie Smollett. Bubba Wallace Smollett. Affirmative black NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace. That's right. The president of NASCAR was apparently walking through the garage area and saw a rope he believed to be a noose. He immediately took action, and I believe the call went something like this. Yo, what's crackin', dog? Wait, can I do a black voice? I better do an Asian impression real quick just to be safe. Ching chong, ching chong, ching chong, ching chong. Bubba, I've got some bad news for you. I found a rope that I believe to be a noose in your garage stall. Yo, man, that's effed up. Yes, they've tied the noose so that if you were to be hung from it, it immediately pulled the garage door down and cut off your head. They're even more insidious than I had thought, Meng. Can I pull the race card for clout? Oh, yeah.
Now, some people are suggesting that this is a hoax or perhaps even staged by NASCAR to garner more support for the removal of the Confederate flag.
Yeah, just like Steve Phelps said, it offends me that people would go to those measures. But again, I'm not shocked. People are entitled to their own opinion to make them feel good, whatever, help them sleep at night. But, you know, it's simple-minded people like that, the ones that are afraid of change. They use everything in their power to defend what they stand up for.
Now, Steve Phelps is, of course, a New York soy boy who had no experience in NASCAR before being given the position as president, working primarily in New York ad agencies as a brand manager.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
So, of course, you'd give NASCAR to him since we all know New Yorkers know exactly how people who love NASCAR think and can build the audience. He has, over the years, injected social justice into the sport.
And you're telling this to two black police officers.
Yeah.
Do you see the problem with that a little bit?
No, I don't, because you know what? Just because I'm white and I haven't experienced racism myself doesn't mean I can't fight for justice. They're a part of the system. They're a part of the problem. Just because they're black doesn't mean they're not a part of the problem.
Ruining something a lot of people loved, and now everyone is acting like, what went wrong? Who could have predicted this? It's really weird. There's apparently so much racism in America that they had to redefine the word just to find it. There's apparently so much racism in America that they have to constantly fake it, but in honor of another Jussie Smollett. Here's the top 5 things that Bubba Wallace probably thinks are racism in a garage.
An incredible showing earlier this hour, a show of solidarity from NASCAR drivers and crew members for the only black driver currently in the top circuit, Bubba Wallace. This happened at the Talladega Super Speedway. They're running the race today that was rained out yesterday. Minutes before the race, Wallace's competitors rallied around him, pushing the car number 43, Richard Petty's old number, to the front of the field. Wallace appeared to be overcome with emotion at the moment, lowered his head into his arms. He also tweeted a picture of the group with the word "together." Now, this comes after somebody put a noose inside of Bubba Wallace's garage stall over the weekend.
Number 1. Shoelaces. That's right, shoelaces. These things look like nooses, and he's probably triggered whenever he looks down at his shoes. My God. Someone call CNN. Some white supremacist put a noose on my feet. CNN headline the next day, "We must remove the far-right notion that shoelaces should be tied." Number 2. Socket wrenches. That's right. These, of course, resemble the batons that were used during the civil rights movement. My God, they're almost the same thing. And Jussie, who lived through the civil rights movement, he didn't, by the way, is probably experiencing PTSD whenever he looks at a socket wrench. My God, just look at the evil police officer using a socket wrench-like device to beat a civil rights protester. And according to the media,
the sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things that aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
There hasn't been any progress since civil rights, which Democrats voted against to a man, by the way. Number 3. An air compressor and hose. These resemble fire hoses, and fire hoses were turned on civil rights protesters during the 60s to fight the far-right notion that sometimes you need to use a hose to direct the airflow of things. We must get rid of all of these and go back to hand pumps. But no hoses on these hand pumps because those could potentially be nooses. Number 4. Paper water cups. Now I think this one is fairly obvious, and Bubba Smollett should definitely be offended by this. Look at this cup. Next to this picture of a KKK member. That's right. They're almost the same thing. We must get rid of racism by no longer using cups to drink water. My God. The racism. Number 5. Tape measures. Now, what could Bubba possibly take issue with a tape measure? Well, you regressive alt-right troll, these obviously look like whips.
What's your name?
Bubba Wallace.
You don't understand the black experience. It doesn't matter what's factual and supported by data. If there's something that a black person could potentially be offended by, well, Fredo Cuomo and the rest of the mainstream media is going with it. Doesn't matter that the reason this rope is tied the way it is because someone realized that pulling a garage door down by gripping a thin cord gets a lot easier if you tie the end in a loop.
Yeah, see, that's what I did.
Oh! Fuck.
You okay?
Doesn't matter that this has been tied like this for years. All that matters is that a black person was offended and the media jumped in and said, "Say no more. We're on it." Thanks for watching, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like. If not, as any real classical liberal will tell you, you do you, my dude.
Trigger warning. I exist. I love Trump. Hey, I'ma vote Trump 2020, Trump 2020. I'ma vote Trump 2020.